So today you have a few openings. We're also promoting them through the Global Career Forum. You're looking for new talent. Could you share a bit more about these positions in terms of what departments are they in and what is the profile that you're looking for?
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay, so most of the time we are looking for business development managers, our BDMs, and international pricing managers, IPMs. The business development manager is like an internal consultancy role. We are looking for people preferably with language skills that they will be working on projects related to growing opportunities for Admiral, for here in the UK, and also for our international operations. That's why it's a plus when they come with language skills. And this kind of projects, well, it can be like exploring new opportunities, launching new products, looking at the new markets, or just improving internal processes. So this mix of projects, and the international pricing manager, these candidates will become experts in this particular area of the business, working on projects more related to our to pricing and data, and assessing risk of potential customers. I don't know if you, yeah.
And finding new ways as well of where to get that data from. It's such a big thing, a big topic at the moment. It's how to be creative enough to find where to find how to price our customer accordingly, but how to find new ways of getting those data creatively. Basically, the role is a bit to predict the future and see how if a certain group of people would have certain kind of claims and so on. And so it's such a key skill to have for us as a business. It's one of our competitive advantages to be able to do pricing. So I would say for people who are really just data-driven, very analytical, love logical thinking, pricing would be for you. If you're more of an entrepreneurial mindset, like to think like strategically about the future of the business, the BDM scheme it would be for you. I think to add up on the BDM program, International Business Development Manager role, they are I don't know what to say. It's a scheme because it's a sort of rotation program. So on average, you would stay on average 2 to 3 years within that role. But then the ultimate idea is for you to integrate into a senior leadership position. Same with pricing. So you spend some time in that department to have an holistic approach of the business. So you spend a bit of time in marketing, a bit of time in operation, to really get to know yourself, get to see what makes you tick. And then once it could be like you work on a project, you work on a new project, and you want to head that launch. That could be you, or there's an opportunity that comes up in the business for you to step into. That's also the point. So the point is not to remain a business development manager for a long period of time, but more to train you as a future senior leader of the business, and then to step into a leadership position. Equally for the international pricing manager role.
There is also the opportunity of joining Admiral like a business development manager, and then you feel like exploring pricing, and you move to be a pricing manager, so that's totally fine. In Admiral, you are in charge of your own career path, so it's flexibility.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the skill set that people we look for, I think there are 3 main things that we are after for those roles. First, it would be an entrepreneurial mindset, as we say. You will join a business of 25 years, so we are eager to have people with very fresh ideas and a willingness to challenge the way we do things, and we will listen to those ideas. Secondly, an analytical mindset. So when you go to a business and a department and you have all those research that has been done, all that data, it's your responsibility to really have a sharp look at it and to come up with some great suggestion and analyze the data. And then thirdly, a good cultural fit. As Deborah say, we want to bring the right people for our culture, so the cultural fit would be really, really important. So yeah, those 3 things would be the 3 things we look for. Work permit.
Excellent. Question coming in from the audience from Tom. He's asking about timelines for IBDM applications, and I thought perhaps you could expand a little bit more in terms of typical steps in the interview recruiting process.
Yes. So the timeline, well, the whole process from the beginning normally is like 1 month or 1 month and a half. I try to arrange everything as soon as possible, but sometimes, of course, depends on the availability of the managers. So the process starts with a Skype interview with either Deborah or myself and one member of the international pricing team. Then the second Skype interview is with the deputy head of international pricing. And then we will meet the candidate to come to Cardiff to meet our environment and culture, to meet our senior managers, and it will be a full day of interviews. So that will be for the pricing role. For the business development role, it's the same, but meeting the head of business development team, and in the assessment, the candidate will have the opportunity to meet as well our CEOs, the CEO of the UK and the CEO of the group.
And in terms of the timeline to apply, we're quite open and we're constantly looking for new talent. Obviously, we don't hire much. That's something we can mention. We don't hire many BDMs across the year. On average, it's about 3 to 4. The reason we do that is because of the nature, like the seniority of the role. As you can imagine, if we want them to then integrate into interesting opportunities, we can't hire too many of them. So, like I think this one will be open for the next couple of months.
Yes. So at the moment, the vacancy is open until March. Okay. I don't remember exactly the date, but it's something that we can
extend.
Yeah.
But as soon as we get enough talent, we won't be recruiting anymore. So I think the sooner the better. Yeah. But there's no rush in terms of when we will close the vacancy. Yeah. It's more about we're eager to meet talent. So if we find something that we feel could be beneficial for the group, we would be happy to meet them.
Excellent. Next question coming in from Brandon. He's asking you if you could give us an example of typical projects someone in the IBDM team would undertake in their first year.
Yes. Okay. So in the first year, we will make sure to get you a bit out of your comfort zone and for you to meet any different kind of department. So typically, you would join in. You would have a strong induction to get hold of what insurance is about. There's something that we do within the business which usually surprises the student, but we find really valuable. We would put you on a call center course. So really to get to understand insurance. So for example, you would do 2 weeks on how to take a claim and to process it. So this will really get your hands dirty and get the nitty-gritty of how insurance is working. And then you go on the phone and talk to real customers. And that's part of your first week of training. So be mindful of that. And after that, we organize things that we call port of calls. So that's when we will organize meetings face-to-face with some head of different departments within the business. So it could be people from head of household, head of marketing, head of outbound, just for you to get a really good understanding of the holistic approach of the business, who does what, and so on. And then that's when you get your first project. So it could be, as an example, a first one could be in operation. So it could be working on a loss ratio and try to reduce it by 2.5, I don't know, or 0.5. And mind you, we already do it really well. So you'd have to really dig into data and try to be creative in terms of how we can do that. And then it could be a strategic project. So, for example, we have household insurance in UK. We just launched it in France. You could be asked to spend maybe 2-3 months in Italy and come up with a business plan and just recommendation on whether or not we should launch household insurance in our Italian operation. Then you come back. It could be go then spend a bit of time in marketing. They've been trying to launch a loyalty program for a while, but in reality, it's something quite complex to do when it comes to insurance business. go and make sure help us to launch our loyalty program. Then you come back and you do a 3-month project in anything really. So the idea really is to get a holistic approach of the business and really understand what you enjoy doing. So there's more projects than there are BDMs. So you've got a sort of conversation and we make sure you explore different areas so you really get an understanding of what you'd like to integrate later on in your career within Admiral. As well to do that.
Excellent. Another question coming in from the audience, a candidate saying that they did their research on Admiral and they saw you have a business segment regarding price comparisons, like Confused.com, and saying that this is very different from traditional insurance. Could you tell us more about this segment and how it supports the overall strategy of the company?
Yeah, no problem. So, it's quite interesting to see how it came up. So because our 2 founders were MBA, the idea was really they were not from insurance, so they saw the insurance market as an opportunity to be disrupted. So they were the first one to launch direct insurance, where in the car insurance market, it was mainly broker-led. So they came in and they were the first one to do direct insurance, and that's what really helped them to gain some market shares when they started 25 years ago. And then as the internet was arriving, Henry, our founder, really saw it as an irresistible force. And he was the first one to think, hey, hold on, why don't we have a price comparison website? It seems like a very logical thing to do. But back then, no one was doing it. So people sometimes don't know that, but Admiral was the pioneer in price comparison website and aggregators. So we launched the first aggregator and price comparison website. And that really is what really make the business, kick off. And that's where we earn so much the market share, because in the UK specifically, there was a real switch in terms of distribution channel, and most British people started using a price comparison website. And if you think about it, it's a fantastic way to get to know the business as well, to kind of understand how the market is working, what people look after, and so on. However, there's a clear, we call it like a bit of Chinese wall between Confused.com business and Admiral, because as you may imagine, in terms of regulation, you can't communicate much information between the two. So it is part of Admiral Group, but there's not so much communication in terms of the data, because obviously they're working with some of our competitors, and we have to respect that, otherwise none of our competitors would go on our platform. So there's this sort of like section between our 2 businesses. However, we know them really well. Some of our interns would work sometimes in Confused, so they're a very good relationship, obviously, between the senior people and the staff in general between Admiral and Confused, but in terms of information sharing, they are quite separate. And it's a model we've been then expanding. So in France and Spain, we launched also a price comparison website. However, the shift from other kind of distribution channels to the price comparison channel is still yet to happen. So we spend a lot of marketing effort in France, for example, with our Le Lynx brand, to make sure French people switch to price comparison. In Spain, Bracero is doing really well. This shift has happened, and now it's a very well-known brand. But yeah, definitely a very interesting brand. We have an entity called Prominent in Admiral that is looking at emerging markets. So although we decided not to launch, or at the moment, but never say never, we may in the future, but launch direct insurance products, we do launch price comparison website in emerging markets. So we launched it in Turkey, Mexico, and the reason is it really helps us to kind of estimate the market first, see how our competitors are doing, see if there's an appetite for direct car insurance, and if the signals are green, then yes, potentially, and then we would potentially launch direct insurance. So it's a great way to test the market, and quite cheap if you think about it. Quite easy to implement.